am the Associate Dean of North American Enrollment and Study Abroad at the American College of Greece in Athens. And I am joined today by my colleague, Miss Evita Psoni. Evita?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So my name is Evita. I am the Study Abroad Coordinator at the North American Enrollment and Study Abroad Office at the American College of Greece. I'm based in Athens. I am on campus for whatever you might need. Please email us or you may call us directly. So now I pass it off to Justin for the rest of the introductions and the presentation.
So the North American team, we're comprised of 4 people. You can see us here. So we have the Dean, Ms. Maranisteo, and myself. We are both based here in the United States. So we will assist you all with the front end of the application and enrollment process. And then we have 2 colleagues in Greece on campus, obviously Evita, who you just heard from, and our other colleague, Ms. Eli Grapsas. Evita, as she mentioned, is the study abroad coordinator. So she really will be your main point of contact as you move through the admissions and enrollment process for ACG. So you will get to know her very, very well. But if you ever need anything or there's a time difference issue, Mara and I are both in the States. So sometimes it's a little bit easier to communicate with us as you go through the application process. So I want to just jump right in and just talk a little bit about why students choose ACG. We know that you have a lot of options when it comes to studying abroad. There are a lot of fantastic schools and countries that are available to you. So I always think it's important to talk to students about what makes us different, what makes us unique. Now, I know I'm a little biased here, but I do happen to think that Greece is an excellent choice for a study abroad program. I mean, come on, it's Greece, it's beautiful. Who doesn't want to live in Greece for a couple of months? So I've listed a couple of those main reasons why students tend to choose ACG here, but I think for most of our students, it really boils down to a couple main things. One would be our location. So obviously we're in the center of the Mediterranean. Greece is sort of at a crossroads between Europe, between the Middle East, between Asia, between North Africa. So it really does offer students a lot of opportunity to travel and explore not just Greece, but other countries and other areas and cultures during your study abroad program. We know that travel is a big part of the program. We know that you want to get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. So being based in Greece physically is a huge draw for a lot of our students. I would say the second thing that tends to draw students to us is in our name. We are obviously the American College of Greece. So we are an American institution. All of our courses are taught entirely in English. We follow the US curriculum model more or less. So the ease of transition for students coming from the US it does help to influence their decision when they choose ACG. And as you just heard from Andrea earlier today, we are an exchange partner of UW-Stout. So that does make the process a little bit easier for you as well. And finally, and probably the largest reason why students tend to choose ACG or Greece in general, would be the affordability factor. So Greece is consistently rated as having one of the lowest cost of living within the European Union. Athens as well is consistently ranked as being one of the most affordable European capital cities. So for those of you who are on a budget, who are concerned again about getting the most bang for your buck out of your study abroad experience, Greece really is a wonderful option. It's really, really cheap to live in Greece. Everything from food to shopping to travel is quite affordable. Definitely much more so than we find here in the States. So if you're concerned about budget for your study abroad experience, I do highly encourage you to consider Greece as an option. So a little bit of general information about who we are as an institution. We were founded in 1875. So we have been around for almost 150 years. It is not our first rodeo, so to speak. We've been doing this for quite a long time. You can see some photos of our campus here, and we'll talk a little bit more about campus and our neighborhood later on in the presentation. But our main campus is a 64-acre private gated US-style campus in the Athenian neighborhood of Agia Paraskevi. I've also placed our enrollment profile down here for you from last year so you can get a sense of our size. We're roughly about 4,200 students, both undergraduate and graduate. So we're not a super large university, but we're also not super small. There's a good amount of life and activity happening on our campus. So if you're interested in having that campus experience, that's definitely something we offer at ACG. A little bit more about our student demographics. It's been, oh, sorry about that. It has been a mission of the institution to continue to internationalize our student population. And we know that that's something that study abroad students do consider when selecting a study abroad experience. So you can see from the data here that we have been working hard on internationalizing, and it has been happening every single year. Right now, we're about 60% Greek students, 30% students from the United States, and about 10% international students coming to us from all over the world. So what this means for you as a study abroad student is, one, 30% of our population are from the US. So you're not going to be the only US students on campus. You're going to have other students from all over the country, just like you, who are either studying abroad or who are studying with us full-time and earning their degree at ACG. Because 60% of our population is Greek, you're also going to be immersed in that Greek cultural experience. You're going to be in class with Greek peers. You're going to be getting the Greek perspective. So even though we are an American institution, we are still in Greece. So I like to tell students you're really sort of getting the best of both worlds in that you're getting an international experience. You're still having some of the comforts of home since we are a US institution, but you're also really going to get to experience Greece, the Greek culture, get to know Greek people and make Greek friends. Our facilities, again, I know I'm a little biased here, but I think that our facilities are pretty amazing, actually. Our campus is not massive. It is 64 acres, so it's not super small again. And our facilities are top-notch, state-of-the-art. From our John S. Bailey Library, which was actually just remodeled last summer. It's actually the largest private library in the Balkans. It's a really great place to study, to meet. It's quite beautiful. We have excellent computer labs, smart classrooms, study spaces. For any students who are interested in finance or business, we have an amazing simulated trading room on campus, which you can see in the lower left-hand photo here. We are actually the only institution in Southern Europe that has a trading room for educational purposes. And we're the only institution in Southern Europe that uses those technologies that we have on our campus. So it is quite special to us. For any of you who are involved in athletics, I'll talk a little bit about it later in the presentation, but just so you know that those opportunities to participate in athletics are open and available to you, even as study abroad students. Our campus is actually the official training site of the US Olympic team. So what that means is every time the Olympics return to Greece, the US Olympic team is housed in our housing, and they train in our facilities on our campus. So we have some pretty spectacular athletic facilities. Definitely the jewel of campus would be our amazing Olympic swimming pool right in the center of campus. It's actually the pool where Michael Phelps trained during the 2004 Olympics, the year that he won his first gold medal in Athens. So for those of you who are interested in sports or athletics, know that those are things that you can participate in while you're with us at ACG. Evita, do you want to chat a bit about the neighborhood?
Yes, of course. So the ACG campus is located on the northeastern part of the city of Athens in Agia Paraskevii on Imitos Mountain. There are beautiful hiking trails on campus. It is about 20 minutes away from the touristic center with public transportation, which means that it is very close to life in the capital, but at the same time, it is away from the craziness of the touristic center. Of course, it is an urban neighborhood. There is anything one might need, from pharmacies, grocery stores, and supermarkets, to restaurants, even an open-air cinema during the warm months of the year. So there is always a lot to do at the neighborhood. And then regarding life in Athens, Life in Athens is very vibrant, like in every capital. There is so much to see and do, regardless of what you're interested in. There are activities for every taste and preference. There are not only beaches to go to, as most people think, but also cultural sites, numerous monuments and theaters, among other things. So we can definitely say that Athens is a cultural center and a living museum.
That's very, very true. There's a lot to Athens. Academics, I'm not going to get into too much detail about. As we mentioned earlier, we are an exchange partner. So a lot of our academic courses have already been vetted. The one thing that I do like to mention here for students that's important as study abroad students to consider is that we offer 35 programs of study, 50 minor programs at ACG across 3 schools. We have a pretty large course catalog. There are more than 1,000 courses that we offer every single academic year in all of these different fields of study. So why that's important for you as a study abroad student is, because we offer so much variety in our coursework, regardless of what your major is at UW-Stout, I can pretty much guarantee that you will find courses at ACG that are going to fit into your program, that are going to transfer back seamlessly, and that are going to be interesting for you as well. So if you have some major requirements you need to take care of during your semester or time abroad, or you just want to do some free electives, some general electives, you are going to find coursework at ACG. Obviously, we have a very large school of business and economics, so there are a lot of courses in those areas of study. Also a very large school of liberal arts and sciences with a lot of pretty diverse programs. And obviously our Francis Fridge School of Fine and Performing Arts. If you did not see your specific major listed here in any of our schools, please do not worry. Again, I can guarantee you that you will find courses to take at ACG. Just a quick note about our faculty. They're just as diverse as our students. They're coming to us from all over the world. There are lots of Greek faculty members, American faculty members, and people from all over. And I think one of the things that makes our faculty so unique is that they are highly specialized in their fields. A huge majority of our faculty are full-time faculty. 82% are holding PhDs. And they're not just academics. They're really working professionals who are active in their field of study. So they're participating in global conferences, they're publishing, they're doing research. So you're really learning from someone who isn't just a professor, they're not just a lecturer. We really want you to think of your faculty at ACG as your mentors, and they're really there to help guide you through the academic side of your study abroad experience. Evita Mu, do you want to talk about student life?
Yes, of course. So student life at ACG is again very vibrant, and because it is not a too big community, students develop really strong bonds with each other and with their professors. There are many clubs and societies to join for all kinds of interests, and students can even found their own club if they want to. Even though we are in Greece, we're an American institution, and therefore students can expect to find all the same student life activities that they would expect from any US institution. So regarding the support services at ACG, it is very important to mention that during your studies, you will have a designated office, the International Student Services Office, which will help you with whatever you might need, with housing, with your meal plan. They can help you reset your credentials, for example. They can even help you organize a trip around Greece. So I am also based on the Yeparskivi campus, as I told you before. So please come and talk to me for whatever question you might have or issue you might have. My door is always open for you.
Housing, okay. Well, we know that something students always want to know when considering a study abroad destination is where are they going to live and what's that going to look like. So for housing at ACG, we do operate 4 main residence buildings. Now, our residence buildings are not located within the campus gate, so they're not within that 64-acre campus. They're actually throughout the neighborhood in Agia Pareskevi. But I believe that the furthest residence building we have is about a 15-minute walk to campus. So they're not that far. If 15 minutes sounds far for you, you can request a closer building. But keep in mind, we are in an urban environment. It is a city, so you better get used to walking a lot. That's just part of life in Athens. As far as the housing that we offer, it's not dorm-style housing. They're apartments. So you will be living in a fully furnished apartment. They come with everything you could need. So there's furniture, dishes, pots, pans, blankets and pillows. All of that stuff is there for you. So you don't need to worry about bringing any of that stuff from home or purchasing it when you arrive in Greece. Now, Athens and Greece in general are very, very safe and secure, and I will talk about safety and security later. But just so you know, our residence complexes do have 24-hour security. You do need a student ID card in order to be able to swipe yourself in and out of the residence buildings as well as campus. There are live-in RAs as well as some residence life staff that have offices within the residence buildings. So there's always someone there to assist you anytime, day or night. If you need something, you know that there's someone there you can go to. There's also a lot of communal spaces in our residence buildings. So there, and you can see them in these photos here. There are study spaces. There are lounge areas for students to hang out. There's a barbecue area. There is a gym at the bottom of the R1 building. So if you don't feel like going all the way to the fitness center on campus to get a workout in, you can do it right there at home. There also is free laundry, which is super important. You don't need to worry about sending your laundry out. You can wash and dry your clothes right there at home for free. And finally, just a note about our location, because we are essentially on the slope of a mountain, many of our student apartments have some pretty spectacular views. I always tell students when I see their apartments that I'm so jealous of them because the student apartments are way nicer than my apartment with these million-dollar views of Athens. So they really are quite nice. It's a wonderful place to live while you're studying abroad. Evita, do you want to cover dining?
Yes, so regarding dining at ACG, as you probably already know, food is a huge part of the Greek culture, and students always say how much they enjoy the Greek cuisine. So on campus, there is our main restaurant, Dipnos Sophisterion, which is the top catering company in Greece. And you can also buy meal plans if you're interested in this. There is also Venetis Cafe for on-the-go snacks and beverages. And last but not least, there is a Starbucks on campus, which is a favorite meeting spot for students. There is a beautiful 2-level patio with tables where you can sit and enjoy snacks or beverages with your fellow students. And right outside ACG, there are numerous cafes and restaurants, with our favorite being Chichi, where you can enjoy authentic Greek cuisine at a very low cost. For example, you might have a full meal for 2 or 3 euros.
Yes, it is that cheap. As I said, Greece is a really good option for students who are on a budget. And I have to second what Evita just said. The food in Greece is spectacular. So I can assure you all, you will find some really amazing flavors waiting for you in Athens. Athletics, I'm not going to say too much about. I already mentioned our athletic facilities. Again, the only thing I'm going to say here is just know that our athletics programs are open and available to you, even as study abroad students. So if you want to participate in an athletic program while you're abroad, you absolutely can do that at ACG. There are also several excursions that are included in our study abroad program. So there are 3 excursions included for the semester program. So if you come in a fall or a spring semester, and in the summer, there is 1 excursion included. If you're doing summer term, which is an 8-week program, there are 2. Now, a little bit about the excursions. They change every year, so I can't guarantee exactly where you're going to go on these excursions. But more or less, every year, they try to take you on 1 island excursion, 1 excursion to a cultural heritage site, and 1 excursion to another city or town somewhere in mainland Greece. Typically, the ones that they do, I would say, the most often would be a day trip to the island of Aegina. They usually do a day trip to Delphi, as well as the town of Arakova, which is very close by. And then they also tend to take students to Nafplio, which is a beautiful port city to the west of Athens in mainland Greece. And these are actual photos here of those places and from past study abroad excursions. I do want to mention as well that there also is a guided tour of Athens that's included as part of the orientation week. And why I think that's really important is it's a tour that's given by actual licensed tour guides, and they take you from campus to the downtown area. So they take you around all of the neighborhoods, explain sort of how Athens is organized, tell you which neighborhoods, are the areas where students tend to hang out in the most. They show you some of the big sites, so you sort of get to see that in your first week with a tour guide. But they also give you a lot of practical information about how to get around the city. During that tour, they do always take students into the metro station underground. They show you how to buy a ticket at the stand. They explain the metro system to you, just so that you have a really good understanding of how to get around town before the semester starts. So just know that those are included in your study abroad experience at ACG.
So regarding health and wellness at ACG, well, with COVID-19, we all realized even more the importance of health and wellness. So on campus, there is the Health and Wellness Center. There are always nurses for whatever might come up. There is also the counseling center if you wish to use its services. These services are available for free for students. And there are also activities like the Sun and Rise Yoga, which takes place every semester on the Acropolis Hill. I participated in this active meditation session as well last spring. So it takes place when the sun rises. So it is for early risers. We are there at 6 o'clock in the morning. The view from up there is spectacular. It is a great experience. And at the end of the active meditation session, we have green tea. We all sit together in a circle and we discuss. So it's really worth doing while studying at ACG. You can also see the picture here on the presentation on the Acropolis Hill. Yes, so I think
there are a lot of wonderful, wonderful health and wellness activities that you can experience. I myself am not an early riser, but I hear from students and from Evita as well that the Rise and Shine Yoga is an amazing experience. So for those of you who can drag yourselves out of bed early, I highly, highly recommend going. Maybe one day I will join you, Evita.
We hope so.
Safety and security. Well, as I mentioned, Athens and Greece are very safe. There's not really much that you need to worry about in terms of safety and security. The one thing that we always tell students is you just need to have common sense about your surroundings. It's very safe. The biggest thing that you'll have to be worried about would be pickpocketing, just like in any large city. So when you're in big touristic areas, when you're on public transportation in the metro, just make sure you're not walking around with your bag wide open or your cell phone or wallet hanging out of your pocket. And for the most part, you are going to be absolutely fine. We do always encourage students to enroll in the State Department's Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, but I'm not going to go into detail about that because you will learn a lot about that through the enrollment process. I did briefly mention a little bit about orientation. Just so you all are aware, we do offer a fully comprehensive orientation program for you. So when you arrive in Greece, we offer airport pickup as part of Arrivals Week. We bring you from the airport directly to your apartment so you can move in, settle in. As I mentioned, there is the Athens tour, the city tour during that week, but you're also going to have tours of campus. You're going to have tours of the neighborhood around campus, so you can figure out, where to go buy your groceries and where the ATM is, all of that important information. You're going to have sessions on everything from safety and security to the IT services that we offer at ACG to academics on our campus. So we really want to make sure that you guys are fully prepared for your semester abroad prior to the start of classes. And finally, the visa process. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because this is something that you will work on throughout the enrollment process. But just keep in mind, if you are not an EU citizen and you are coming for a fall or spring semester, you will require a visa to study with us. That is something that we will assist you with. We will walk you through the entire process. It's not difficult. It can be a little bit tedious, but again, we're there to help you through everything. If you're coming in a summer session or term and you are a US citizen, since you will be in Greece for less than 90 days, you will not require a visa for those sessions, just for the fall and spring semesters. And I think that's it for us on the presentation end of things. So now I guess we'll open it up to some questions.
If students have any questions, you guys can type it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and talk to Evita and Justin. It's completely up to you. We are here for you guys.
Don't be shy. Anyone? Feel free to ask away. It's why we're here. Okay, can we get fine arts credits? Is a question that we have just received in the chat box. Andrea or Jason, I'm not sure if you want to cover that on your end. On our end, there are a lot of fine arts courses available, but I'm not exactly sure how they transfer back into UW-Stout.
That could actually be something to talk to Andrea about, or the transfer credits at Stout here. I'm actually an alumni for studying abroad, so I kind of know how the process works. You'll just sit down with Andrea or your program director, and they can try and match credits. So when you go there, you come back and everything is taken care of for you.
Yeah, and just so you guys know about the course registration process and the way that works for us, we do pre-register you for classes. So you're registered for classes before you ever leave and come to Greece. So there's a lot of flexibility in that process. You'll be working with Evita to make sure that you're getting your classes registered. She will, part of that registration process is also completing our registration forms, which requires you to have a signature from someone at UW-Stout, either someone from the study abroad office or from your academic advisor. So don't worry so much about that, because your classes are going to be pre-approved before you ever even arrive in Greece. And I do want to mention also, in terms of registration, that we give our study abroad students priority registration. So you will all be able to register for classes before our ACG degree seeking students. So you're going to get first pick of courses. If there's a course that you really need to have during your semester abroad, we can guarantee that we're going to get you in that course. The next question. What are some requirements in order to study abroad grade-wise? Evita, do you want to cover that?
Yes. So the minimum required GPA is 2.75. Of course, if Andrea and Jasa believe that a candidate is a good fit for our study abroad program, we can discuss this on a case-by-case basis. But for your information, the minimum required GPA is 2.75.
And aside from the GPA, all we require on our end for the admissions process is just an unofficial copy of your transcript and a copy of your passport. If you are planning on studying abroad anytime soon, please make sure that your passport is up to date and that it's not going to be expiring anytime soon. If you are planning on studying abroad and you do not yet have a passport, please go get a passport as soon as possible. The next question we have is about undergraduate courses for someone majoring in computer engineering. Yes, while we do not offer computer engineering as a major, we do have quite a lot of courses available within our IT programs that I think would be useful for someone in your major. I don't want to go into too much detail there, but if you go onto our website, you can actually search through our course catalog and get an idea of what courses we're offering. You can also find course descriptions and syllabi for all of our courses online on the website. Brittany is asking about shopping and the currency. Unfortunately, Brittany, no, you cannot use US dollars in Greece. Greece's currency is the euro, so you will need to operate in euros. However, as far as paying your fees to ACG, all of that is charged in US dollars. Jacob is asking about language requirements. No, there is no requirement. We are a US institution. All of our courses are taught entirely in English. So really, as long as you you can speak English, you are okay for our program. However, I would recommend that you all try to learn a little bit of Greek, or if you have the space in your program to take a Greek language course while you're with us, I would highly recommend it. Evita, anything you want to say about language?
So some basic words like kalimera, good morning, ευχαριστώ, thank you. They would be very useful. But aside from this, many students take Modern Greek 1, which is a course offered at ACG. They enjoy it a lot. Students enjoy it a lot. So I highly recommend, if you have the possibility to take it, if you have some room in your schedule. Aside from this, no, it's not required. So because all courses are taught in English, as Justin said before as well, so you will be fine with the language requirements.
And I will say, to add on to that, aside from just life on campus, in Greece in general, pretty much everybody speaks English at a pretty high level. No matter where you are, I'm always shocked, even if I'm in a remote little island somewhere in Greece, I never have a problem finding someone who speaks perfect English. So it's pretty easy to get around. We have a question about spring semester courses for our transferred credit forms. So I'm not sure if I'm understanding this question correctly, but I believe what you're asking is, for a student who's interested in coming to ACG for spring, are the courses available for you to begin planning your course schedule? If that is the question, then the answer is not yet. We expect the spring course schedule to be released on October 2nd. So very soon, what is that? I believe next week. You should have the courses for spring. If I'm misunderstanding your question, I'm sorry. Please feel free to write it in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer.
Justin, this is Andrea. I just popped onto the session, and I think what the student is referring to also, we have a form that we use at Stout called the Proposal for Transfer Credits form. The students need to complete, they need to look at the courses that the other school is offering and seeing how they're going to transfer back to Stout. That's just to give some context to the question. But that's great to know that October 2nd, the courses will be available.
Yes,
Perfect.
very soon. Brittany has asked the question about cooking, restaurant classes. Yes, there are hospitality and tourism.
Can I just come in for one second?
Sure.
Justin, you're cutting out. Is everyone else muted? Okay, Justin, if you want to go ahead.
Sure. Sorry about that. So as I was mentioning, we do have some classes within our hospitality and tourism major that may be interesting to you. As far as cooking classes, as you saw on the health and wellness slide, we do offer several cooking classes through the health and wellness office. But usually those are more geared towards, well, one, learning some Greek dishes, and two, cooking in a healthy way. So that is not for credit. That's not part of an academic class. That's just a fun activity that we offer on campus that you can participate in. And Jackson, when traveling to Greece, which airport would we be departing from? That's really up to you. You would be arriving to Athens International Airport. So there's only one main airport in our area. But as far as your departure airport, it really depends on where you're coming from. In terms of booking your travel, that is something that we can assist you with, but I highly recommend to ensure that you guys are shopping around when it comes to booking that ticket. For arrivals, we always give students an option of 2 arrival days, and you can come on either of those days. You're not required to arrive on one or the other. I usually recommend to students try to arrive on the first arrival day, because that will give you a whole extra 24 hours in Greece to settle in, get over your jet lag, unpack your stuff before you have to start orientation. If you can't make it that day and you have to arrive on the second arrivals day, still not an issue. But oftentimes students will check both dates just to see which one is cheapest in terms of flight. But I recommend shopping around when booking your travel for sure. There are a lot of airlines that can get you to Athens. Next question is only sophomore and above. Andrea, do you want to chime in there?
Yes, I can chime in. So for students who are in your first year or freshman year right now, after you finish this, your very first opportunity to study, for example, in the American College of Greece, would be after you've completed 2 semesters at Stout. Now, if you're in a different situation in terms of, maybe you were a transfer student and you're essentially, maybe you transferred in 1 or 2 years, you're actually in your 3rd year, kind of, that we can handle things on a case-by-case basis. But if you just graduated from high school, you're doing your freshman year at Stout, then you would want to finish your first year at Stout, and then you could consider going in fall 2021. So this year you can, now is a perfect time to start researching your options to study abroad and applying. And so if you wanted to go in the fall, then the deadline you would be looking at is March 1st, 2021. There's, well, as I say, technically, you could go on a faculty-led program in winter term as your first opportunity, but we've actually canceled our faculty-led programs for January. Or also next summer in Greece could be an option as well for you. Did that answer I know we had a couple questions about that. Did that answer your questions, or do you have any other ones? I'm happy to address those.
It looks like we've gotten through most of the questions in the chat, and thank you all for asking some really good questions. We still have some time left, so if there's anything else, please feel free to chime in, either using the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask us verbally. Evita, is there anything else that we forgot that maybe you want to share?
If students need anything, they can always email us at studyabroad@acg.edu. Okay, so or call us directly, and we're here for whatever you might need.
So Carter, I can see asked a question about interior design courses. That is not a program that we offer. So I am not sure off the top of my head if we have anything that would fit into that realm. But again, you can find our course catalog on our website, which I will type into the chat box for you. And you'll be able to search there for everything that we offer. Andrea, do you have something that you want to mention about that?
Yeah, and Carter, just to mention, one thing that I encourage students to look at the other courses within your program that you might need to take. For example, an art history course. Do you need a studio art course? There's also gen ed courses you may need to have. So for example, you may need an art course that you need for your interior design major. So even though they might not have particularly exact, interior design, Studio 1 or something, they may not have that, but look at the other courses that you need, and ACG may offer those courses. And I also encourage students to save some gen eds when you want to go abroad. It's a really great opportunity to learn more about the country. You can maybe take a language course. You can take a history course that you're always looking in advance to make sure that these courses can transfer back. But a lot history courses can transfer back. like I said, art history, what else? The culture classes. It's a great opportunity to learn more about Greece or whatever country you're going to be in. So something to think about.
I can see we have a question from Jackson about housing. Do students have their own bedrooms? That's a great question. So we have 3 room options at ACG. The main option is a double room. So essentially in that case, you would be sharing your bedroom with another student, and then you also share the rest of the apartment with your other flatmates. Now that is the default option. So if you do not request any change to your housing, you will be defaulted to a double room. There are some single bedrooms as well as studio apartment rooms that are available. However, they are for an additional fee, so they're a little bit more expensive, and they're limited. So there aren't a lot of singles or studios available. So if that's something that you know that you want, I highly recommend that you get through the application process as early as possible, submit your housing documents as early as possible, because those things are first come, first serve. So the earlier we have your request, the better. Daniel, game design opportunities there are. Daniel, great question. So Daniel's asking about courses in game design. We actually do have several courses. We offer a program in graphic design and an IT design program as well. And both of those majors have some courses available within game design. Again, I encourage you all to take a look at our course catalog. If you're interested in studying abroad for this spring, I don't know if you guys are sending abroad this spring, but if you are, our spring courses will be released on October 2nd. So again, you'll be able to take a look at exactly what's being offered this spring in October. And if you're planning on coming for another semester or term later on, maybe summer or the 2021-2022 academic year, we typically release our courses for the upcoming semester around that time. So it's usually a couple of months prior to the start of the semester. If you're planning on coming in a semester further down the line, I do recommend just looking at our general catalog on the website. You'll find a lot of info there about courses.
And Daniel, I was just looking on the ACG website. There's a great, I love their the search engine. I do notice they have some game programming lab. There's a game design course, and then also, I know there's the art side of game design and also computer science side. So it depends on what side you're on. If you're on the art side, maybe you also need a drawing class. I can't remember all the courses you need offhand, but I know sometimes you need some art courses. Or if you need more programming classes, then, there's a couple of ways of doing it. And then again, you can also add in some gen eds to that. Maybe you want to take 1 or 2 major related courses and 1 or 2 or a couple of gen eds. That way they're doing your coursework that way. You could then have a full load. Maybe while maybe we're waiting for some other questions, maybe I'll just show my screen really quick to the students. This is a link off of our website. If you look on the academics tab of our website, you'll be able to find this search engine here. So looking at the course schedules, and this is where in October 2nd, you'll find the spring 2021 schedule. But just looking at the fall semester 2020, it shows you the dates of the semester, which is really helpful. And then I just put in, a search, say if you wanted to find out which, if there's, programming classes. And here we have Introduction to Programming, C language, internet programming, game programming. Or if you need you can kind of see what classes there are for studios. But also if you need an art class, here's history of art, art techniques and media. So it's a good way to kind of seeing what kind of options there are. There's a painting course. Figure drawing, usually you need a 2D drawing, so there's a 1 and a 2, so it's a really good option for a lot of you that are in the School of Art and Design. And Justin and Evita, I use this search engine all the time, and I absolutely love it. It's so helpful.
I'm so happy to hear that. It definitely makes our job a lot easier as well.
Yeah, yeah, this is great. I think you're the only school we work with that has such an easy search like this.
Me too, Andrea. I love it. Me too.
You can find the syllabi for all these courses on our website as well. So if you find a course here in this search and you just want a little bit more information about the course, or you want to see what it actually is going to look like, you can search for the syllabi on our website, and you'll be able to get the most up-to-date version of that. So you can see exactly what you're going to need. Andrea, if you're trying to find it, it's literally 1 page back from that.
Okay, I think I went there from our website, so I just want to show students how I got there.
Sure,
Because I think I have both bookmarked. So if you're on our website at uw-stout.studioabroad.com, you click on an exchange, and you'll find the first one is American College of Greece. And there's several tabs that you can click on, but for courses, you click on academics. And if you click the first one, you will go to this course schedule search where I just visited. And the second one is the ACG course descriptions. So if you look up, let's do the first one, fine and performing arts, you want to look up the visual arts courses that you offer. And then you submit at the bottom. And then here's, for example, a 2D drawings course description. When you're talking with your program directors to get courses approved, this will be very helpful for them to review when you're going through that process. But just to note, Justin and Evita, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is all the courses you offered. So you might be interested in, figure drawing 1 level 4, but that may or may not be offered in spring term. Yeah, so you want to make sure you're looking at the course search for that particular term, and then you can kind of go here and check the course description.
Exactly. And if you see right there where it says syllabus, and there's a little link to download under each one, you can actually download the full syllabi. So there you go. There's an example.
That's really helpful.
So you'll be able to see everything, what your grade is going to be comprised of, or required readings, everything that you would need to know.
Andrea, there's actually a question in the chat from Carter. It says, for prices, is a semester more or equal to a semester here at UW-Stout?
Thank you, Jasa. So I can show you that on our website as well. Let me go back to our website. So on the same page, you can click on costs and scholarships, and it'll list here's the budget for fall semester. And then if you keep going, it's the spring budget. Essentially, usually they're the same. But you can see, oops. You have the billable and the non-billable. So for the billable, essentially this is what we would charge your Access Stout account. There's an OIE service fee, a program fee, eStout fee, and then a program fee. Here, let me go back to that. This is what ACG would charge for a semester. That is for tuition, and then let's see. Housing? No, housing is separate. Oh yeah.
No,
I'm sorry.
So that fee for us does include our housing, the 5095.
Thank you. Every program is a little different, but it does include.
Right here, you can see housing, excursions, airport pickup and drop off, visa assistance, use of the athletic facilities, the laundry. Obviously your transcript at the end of the program, and some other additional fees that actually aren't listed there, things like the orientation fees. If any of your courses at ACG have an ebook, we give you those for free. That's included in this fee as well, so you don't need to purchase those.
Perfect. Yeah. And students can always access, at the top, you'll see this link, financial aid, grants, and scholarships. That goes to our finances page. And there we have a whole list of information on loans, scholarships. The list is pretty endless. So you can kind of take a look at the different links. There's a lot. And see what you might be eligible in terms of applying for scholarships.
Any other questions? Looks like we still have a couple of minutes. On our end, I think we've pretty much covered everything that was important. As far as the application process goes, I didn't really talk about that too much. Obviously, you do apply through your home institution first. So you'll be working with Andrea in her office. You apply first through Stout. And then once you've been approved and accepted on their end, then you will need to complete the ACG application process. It's really simple. You just submit our online application through our website. And then you need to submit an unofficial copy of your transcript and a copy of your passport. And that is pretty much it. Once we have those documents, we'll go ahead and process your application. And then as long as you meet the 2.75 GPA requirement, we'll then go ahead and start the enrollment process for you.
I know it may sound like a lot for some students, you know, there's lists on lists and lists of things to get done, but in the office, Andrea, we have student advisors and we have other advisors as well. They are always there to help you, so don't be afraid to reach out to us. We will try and answer any questions you have and make sure you're always on top of things when you're planning to do the study abroad trips.
Yeah, and from our side too, just want to make sure you all know, I mean, we are here, we're available to you at all times. We really, really want to be a support system through you as you go through the enrollment process and the admissions process. And then again, obviously during your time with us in Greece. But any questions you have, any issues, any concerns, we're always here. Feel free to reach out to us. We love hearing from our students from partner institutions, and we hope to welcome you all to our campus in Greece soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for presenting today. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Now, are students planning on going abroad this year, next year? If you guys want to just write in the chat box when you're sort of thinking about going abroad, a semester or a year, that would be helpful for us as well. So feel free to just type that in the chat. Okay, Jackson, Carter, both next year. Okay, good, good. So no clue, Daniel, that's totally fine. That's why we're here. We're here to help you work your way through that process and deciding. But good, for those of you who are interested in next year, obviously you still have quite a bit of time. Enrolled to study spring 21, fantastic, wonderful. We cannot wait to welcome you to campus. Since we do have a student who is planning on coming relatively soon, I do want to maybe just say a couple of words just about COVID and that current situation in Greece.
And I think this student was maybe in Greece in spring, right? I believe.
Yes. I can't see your full name on the chat.
Do you want to pop your microphone on? Or, that's all right. You don't have to either.
So regarding COVID, just to let you all know, a couple of updates and what that means for us. Greece actually has done a really, really great job at mitigating the spread of the virus. They acted really swiftly. They were very strict in the beginning. They shut things down very quickly. And thankfully, it really did work to sort of control the spread within Greece. Things have begun to reopen in Greece. For the most part, things are more or less back to normal. They have seen a slight increase in cases recently, and that can be attributed to the tourist season. People did start traveling again at the end of the summer. So we're hoping that that starts to slow down a little bit. But just so you know, on our end from ACG, we have created an entire new list of rules and regulations surrounding COVID and how we're going to be offering our programs. So you will have to read through all of the new policies before enrolling. Campus is regularly disinfected. There are hand sanitizing stations in every classroom, every office, every common space within campus. Masks are required on campus. We have changed our housing a little bit. We are not putting any more than 3 students in apartment right now. So we're doing our best to make sure that students are able to maintain social distance, both on campus and in the residences. We also have changed the format of many of our courses. So typically under normal circumstances, the courses at ACG are all in-person on-campus classes. This year, the format is varied from class to class. So we do have many courses that are now meeting in a hybrid format where they may be on campus in a classroom once every 2 weeks, and the rest of the coursework is done online. Some of our courses have moved entirely online, and a handful of our courses, specifically the lab courses, are still face-to-face in the classroom. However, they are all at a reduced number of students. So we are not allowing the full number of students to register for each class. So things do look a little bit different on our campus, but for the most part, we are still open and operating as normal, just with some added precautions to make sure that everyone is staying safe and staying healthy. Carter has a question about whether or not you are given laptops. So no, you are not at ACG. I do highly encourage you all to bring your own laptop computer with you. There are obviously computer labs, and there are desktop computers available to you in the residences should you need to use a computer. But I do recommend, if you have one, please bring a laptop with you. It's just going to be so much easier for you to be able to do your work on your own computer. So it looks like we have just a couple minutes left. Any last minute questions? Andrea, anything we didn't cover that you can think of that would be important to talk about? Evita? Anything else I forgot to mention?
So I think we're all set. Again, students can email us directly at studyabroad@acg.edu if they need anything further on our end, and if they have any questions. So let me just say that for deferred students from fall to spring, like Diana, her folder is complete, but we will need an updated transcript, and official will do as well. And the rest of the steps for our new students are very simple, as we said: the online application, the passport copy, and the unofficial transcript. So it is a simple process. We're here to help you for whatever you might need. So just please email us.
Well, I think that's all on our end. Andrea, Jasa, anything else that you would like us to cover before we sign off?
I think we should be all set. If there's no more questions from students. Final questions in the last minute or two.
Great. Well, as we get ready to sign off, I just want to say, again, a big thank you to all of you for taking the time to chat with us today and to learn a little bit more about the program and what we offer at ACG. I know that this year has been an interesting one, to say the least, but we hope that we'll be able to welcome you all to Greece very, very soon. And Evita, thank you so much for staying up so late. I know it's late there in Greece, so thank you.
It's always a pleasure. So thank you everyone so much for joining us. We look forward to welcoming you in spring. And thank you, Andrea and Jasa, for having us.
You're welcome. Well, thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.